Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Make sure to subscribe and let us know what's your opinions about the content down below. So today we're gonna talk about Joe Biden, who's currently back in the news, promoting some bullshit ass information about the coming primary on Tuesday, which is in Wisconsin. And as you know, Wisconsin is another swing state that both current primary candidates need to win in order for them to, secure the nomination and whatnot, because there's a lot of delegates in that state alone. So let's look what's going on with Joe Biden. According to Jordan Chariton, who happens to be a journalist for TYT, I think he used to be. It says, shameful that 2 days before the Wisconsin primary, when the state has about 2,112 COVID-19 cases in America, and the cases in America has about 8,500 deaths so far, Joe Biden is saying that we should follow the science to determine whether to hold the primary rather than calling for it postponed like Bernie Sanders has done. As you guys don't know, Bernie Sanders has called out to for the Wisconsin primary to be postponed because of the huge pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic that's currently going on. As currently Jordan stated there, that a lot of people, about 8,500 people had died, and this disease keeps spreading. If anything, we are almost at the peak of this pandemic in the United States alone. And then we have here Joe Biden saying this.
On Tuesday, your opponent, Senator Sanders, has said that should be put off, and the governor now joined that chorus as well. But it looks like it's going to happen. Is that wise?
Well, look, I think they should just follow the science. What I've been hearing, I've been following like you have, like everybody has, watching the court action. Is still in court now, but I think whatever the science says is what we should do.
And does that hold for the convention as well? Are you open to the idea that it just may not be possible to do the convention in August?
Well, we're going to have to do a convention. May have to do a virtual convention. I think we should be thinking about that right now. The idea of holding a convention is going to be necessary, but we may not be able to put 10, 20, 30,000 people in one place, and that's very possible. Again, let's see where it is. What we do between now and then is going to dictate a lot of that as well. But my point is that I think you just got to follow the science. Listen to the experts. Listen to the Faucis of the world. And if that's the case, it's the case. But we cannot let this. We've never allowed any crisis from the Civil War straight through to the pandemic of 17, all the way around 16. We have never let our democracy take second fiddle. We can both have a democracy and elections and at the same time correct the public health. But I think it's time we start thinking about how we're going to hold elections, whether we're going to have to spend a lot of time figuring whether we do. Is it going to mostly be by mail, which is not the preferred route for everyone? How are we going to do that? How are we going to make it available to everybody? And I think that
Wisconsin now having its primary on Tuesday.
That's pretty much it, what Joe Biden has said, which is follow the science. Follow the science. He doesn't want to postpone it like Bernie Sanders has called it to be like. He says follow the science, and so far the science says, look, there's a huge pandemic out there. People are doing quarantine at their houses. You can't go out. That's what the experts have told us to do. Now everyone should wear masks. We cannot get out without wearing our mask, and being precautious, staying about 6 feet away from each other. That's personal space and whatnot. And Joe Biden wants us to go out there, stay in line, huge lines. You saw what happened in the last primaries we had, where people had to stay in line for about 7-10 hours to vote, and everyone had to be jam-packed together. What happened in the recent primary that we had in, I think it was Florida, that we told people, look, you shouldn't go out there and vote. Even if you want to vote for Bernie Sanders, which I think a lot of people wanted to, don't go out there because it's not safe. We have a huge pandemic coming in, and I don't think we need people going out there and voting in states like Florida, Louisiana, whatnot. I think it was not Louisiana, it was Indiana. So, but guess what? The Joe Biden campaign and his surrogates were saying, "Look, it's safe to go out there." The CDC even said it, that we could go out there and vote. I mean, this is still safe. Uh, just states maybe like New York and I think California were on the quarantine during that time, but other states they could go out there and vote. It's safe. The CDC says it. Even the CDC said no. You have to stay at home. Don't go out there and vote. Don't get in huge gatherings of people because this could be out there and it could potentially affect you and your family and other people who are not even. Not even responsible for this. And so, guess what? Joe Biden told his people to go out there and vote, and this time he's saying, "No, let's follow the science. Let's follow the experts." But he's not really calling it out. He's not really saying we should cancel it, even though we're in that fucking peak of the pandemic here in the United States. And he said, "Let's follow the science. The science telling you to not let people go out there and gather themselves in huge groups." So they could be, so they could get the disease, don't spread the disease, because that's what they're trying to do, move the curve, right? But so now he wants to state that he wants to follow the science. We follow the guidelines of the experts. The experts have been telling us to stay inside. So what? You're not gonna call it off? The DNC is not gonna call it off. They did it on Louisiana, and the DNC had the fucking balls. They had the fucking balls to go against them and tell them, "Look, you cancel your primary, we're gonna punish you guys. We're gonna take out delegates." So they want to punish people for doing the right thing because they know they can no longer postpone this and allow Joe Biden to be out there in the press, be out there in the press. And saying random shit. Like right now, you saw at the end of that interview where he was like almost struggling to finish the 1 minute interview that he had. He was struggling to finish. He's almost falling off from finishing the sentences and his thoughts. That's what the Democrats are against right now. They're trying to we have to keep Joe Biden from being exposed or for staying in the media for way too long, because if he does, then a huge wave of people might start voting for Bernie Sanders. We don't want that. Even though more likely it seems that people are voting for Joe Biden regardless, but they don't want people to catch up to their BS. So here it is, Joe Biden saying that we should follow the science and listen to the experts, but he doesn't want to call out the fucking primary that is about 2 days from now. Today was Sunday night, 11 p.m. And we are 2 days. We're still in lockdown. Not in lockdown, but we're still quarantining in our houses, staying in our houses, not going out. And he wants massive hundreds of people to go out there and vote. Bernie Sanders is the only one calling it out. Said, no, people should not go out there. Because at least Bernie Sanders understood this time that we should not do that. Last time he kind of resent himself for not saying that. He just said, look, if you want to go out there, do it responsibly, but I don't want you guys to go out there. But he didn't really call them out and said, look, we should postpone this. Now he's doing the right thing. And now he's saying, no, we should postpone this. Like, it's too dangerous out there. People are going to get sick. We're going to spread the COVID-19 disease even more. And that's not what we're trying to do. People are going to die. You see it, right? In New York, people are like, the count, I think it was about 500, 600 people a day dying in New York. But Joe Biden doesn't give a fuck. His team doesn't give a fuck. The Democrats don't care. They just want the whole primary to be finished as soon as possible. So this is what we're fighting against. Incompetent people ahead of the DNC, incompetent people ahead of the Joe Biden campaign. And Joe Biden being the terrible leader that he is. It's stupid. It's stupid. They like to go out there and talk massive fucking shit about Donald Trump and how he's mishandling this situation, and they're doing their fucking share of mishandling actions by themselves. By doing this bullshit, but telling people to go out there and vote. Because it's the American thing to do. It's the right thing to do for me. Because he doesn't give a fucking shit about people's lives. That's the bottom line, and that's the reality.